I thought I'd make a short video of me splitting my firewood. This is just what I do. Probably won't work for everybody. I'll flip this camera around and show you what I have going on here. So this is my log splitter. It's a black diamond. I think it's a 3-ton or a 5-ton. I forget, but works really good. This is my pile of firewood. I got it for free. Part of that is a big fir tree I cut down and split it partially. I have more splitting to do. But I guess most of it you see right here is free firewood I got from a big elm tree they took down, actually a couple of them. And I brought it home, cut it into manageable pieces just to get it on the trailer. This is my trailer. It's a 5x8. It's homemade, but it's really heavy duty, so it'll haul a full load of firewood pretty easy. So all the long skinny ones, we just threw those in the trailer and brought them home, and then I'm cutting those into 16-inch lengths. And all of these were bigger logs. We cut them down just enough to get them into the trailer, and then I'm in the process of splitting them now. So this is my setup. Because there's about a 1-inch lip on the bottom of that splitter, the logs, unless they're small, always want to tip over. So I put in this, I think it's 1/2 or 5/8 inch plywood. Gives me some place to put my knees and helps hold the firewood from tilting backwards. And you can see I've got a little mess there. I'll take my blower and clean that up real quick. I've got a floor mat. I fold it in half and I put it down here for my knees. Last year I split a bunch of firewood and I set it in a small folding chair. It worked pretty good, but down on my knees I don't have to bend over. I'm just right there. So I'll take a bunch of these chunks of these rounds, throw them down here on the ground where I can reach them easily, and I'll start splitting them. And after I split them, I'll throw them over there by the wood pile. And then when I get enough that it's hard to get around, I'll start stacking them up. As you can see, I've got the back row almost completely full of rounds that I cut, and then the ends I built up so I can put a lot of firewood in between. Once I get that full, I'll come out, I'll build another pile beside that, and I'm going to have to clean out a little patch over there too. I kind of threw my firewood a little close to where I need to stack it, and I may have to do something different for a little while till I make some room, but it's gonna work. I did this last year. I had it 4 deep on these piles. Then I sold it all when it dried. The reason I had all that firewood is because I had this 120-foot tree right here with about 8 branches that were big. There's one of them back there, the last one I cut off. It's over 4 foot across. That's up there where it wides out. So I've got to whittle that down so I can split it also. Let me get this set up and cleaned up, and I'll start videotaping a little bit of me splitting firewood. Okay, I'm going to start up the splitter and get to going. Well, as you can see, most of this split's pretty easy. It's pretty straight. When you get into the stuff where there's branches coming out, and especially in case of that poplar tree there, they were really big branches and they're kind of twisted. It's a lot harder to split it. Sometimes it's more crushing it than splitting it, and it takes a lot longer. But I like this because most of it's pretty straight, so as soon as you hit it with the splitter, it just pops it open, so it goes pretty fast. Now, yesterday I worked about 3 hours to get that pile, and most of the back pile was already done. I just finished it off with some split stuff, threw some rounds on top of the other rounds I already stacked, which is what I'm doing with all the smaller stuff back there. I just cut it 16 inches and stack it. There's some in here that are close, but I'm going to probably go ahead and split them in half. They're about 5-6 inches, so just a little too big for most people's average firewood needs. If you were heating your house with like an earth stove, then you'd probably like something like this round. Just throw it in there and let it burn all night, but I don't think most people have those, at least the ones I'm selling firewood to. Now, this has a automatic stop on it when it goes up, so it gets to that height, it just, oops, around, sorry. It gets to that height, it just shuts off. It quits going up, but you got to hold your hand on the handle here to go down. As soon as you let go of it, quits going down, which is a nice safety feature so you don't crush your hand or something bad. I've been pretty fortunate. I try to be careful not to get my hand where it's going to get pinched. You even got to be careful putting your hand on top of the log or the round. Sometimes at the last second it wants to pivot or something. You don't want to get your fingers sucked underneath that blade. It will chop them off immediately. I bought this for about $1,000 last year to take care of all the firewood I had. It's a 6.5 horse, 208 cc's, and I'm sure it says on there how many tons it is. I just forgot. It's got a hitch on it, and you don't need a license plate or anything. Shoot, I thought there was something right there that said the tonnage of it, but I think it's a 5-ton. Anyway, it works really good for what I do, and I figure if this is the last firewood I do, I'll just turn around and sell my log splitter and get most of my money back. And it won't have cost me anything, at least for the log splitter. And all this wood was free, so it's just a matter of my expense and time of the chainsaws and the splitter, gas, oil. Going to get it, it's pretty labor intensive. You have to go chop it up so you cut it up in length so you can get it in the trailer. Then you bring it home, then you unload it, and then you cut it so you can split it. And then you stack it, and you let it dry. And then when it's dry, you have to load it back into the trailer, haul it to somebody's house, unload it, and then for about $50 extra, I will stack it at their house if they want me to. Otherwise, I just throw it on the ground and let them do it. Gives me some extra money, keeps me off the streets and out of the bars. Thanks for watching. If you're thinking about getting a splitter, tell you what, it sure makes life convenient when you're doing a lot of firewood. Last year I tried splitting some of this firewood with the axe, which is sitting over there, and a maul, which now has a broken handle. And let me tell you what, I couldn't even make a dent in it. I could barely get the axe or the wedge to stick in that stuff. It was green, and it was twisted. And so that's why I bought a splitter. Anyway, if you want to like, and share, and subscribe, that'd be great. At least like it if you gained any knowledge at all or entertainment value. Fortunately, I haven't lost any fingers or anything like that. That's always a plus. That would not be productive. Have a great day.